You've got it wild. Like this daughter had her mother's tiniest breath.
That rage was just from a single cough or a sigh?
And watch him go into a full-fledged attack at the office noises we all hear.
That was too much.
Can they make it stop? And just chew on this, literally eating rocks.
This is like where you come to shop.
I like the thin pieces the best.
And that's not all.
I eat a light bulb.
A different kind of comfort food. Plus, she's the girl who has everything, including a tick bite. It causes enough strange symptoms, but making her voice go from this
I wanted pictures everywhere
to this.
This is what happens when I get tired.
An accent?
It sounds like Eastern Romania. Is it possible at all, do you think, that you could be faking yourself?
Tonight, think you've got problems? Wait till you see what they have to deal with. Medical mysteries. Here's Elizabeth Vargas.
Good evening. Tonight we're taking you on something of a magical and medical mystery tour. And we start with something we've all felt, at least a little bit. Those pet peeves and annoying little sounds our loved ones might make. But for the people you're about to meet, take that and pump up the volume a lot. Because they have a condition so rare most doctors have never even heard of it, even though it's all about hearing. They are like strangers living in the same house. 14-year-old Taylor and her mother Bernadette eat meals in separate rooms. They share no activities. In fact, they do not even speak.
I just want to be able to say I love you, and I can't.
But there's been no argument, no fall from grace. In fact, each considers the other to be their closest friend.
I love her, and I hate that we can't do normal things.
No normal things because Taylor suffers from a mysterious condition called misophonia. It means hatred of sound. For Taylor, everyday noises like chewing, coughing, and sniffling trigger emotions that bring her to the brink.
It's an almost undescribable amount of anger and rage that I just can't control.
Taylor was a happy, outgoing cheerleader and a straight-A student before this strange aversion to sound began. She was 8 years old when her life and her relationship with her mother was transformed with one simple noise.
I coughed, and she covered her ears, and she ran away. And then as time went on, she would then start to hit me.
Would she say something? Like, stop
She'd say,
that?
stop that. And eventually, as years went on, her anger just escalated. The sound will replay in my mind until I get the anger out.
To avoid hearing her mother, Taylor had to sit in a separate room during her family's interview. Her father, Joe, and sister, Alex, say they first reacted to her outbursts with alarm and disbelief.
I guess I could say I was one of the doubters. I kind of thought, come on, what are you kidding me?
And I was like, well, why can't you get over it, you know?
But they soon realized getting over it was not an option. Listen to Taylor's blood-curdling screams.
Joe, you actually recorded her in one of these rages on your phone. Can you play it for me? Oh my gosh.
The rage is incredible.
It's like a Jekyll and Hyde.
What had you done to set that off?
Probably coughed. Sometimes now it could even be if I sigh. Probably.
That
Oh, yeah.
rage was just from a single cough or a sigh?
Mm-hmm.
And unbelievable as it seems, Taylor is not alone. Videos like these on YouTube recreate the inner agony caused by misophonia.
We can see this same situation in hundreds of people, so you know it is a reality.
Audiologist Marcia Johnson is one of the only experts who treats misophonia patients. Her online support group has more than 2,000 members. Their triggers are all everyday, unavoidable noises.
My main triggers are sniffling, chewing, breathing.
It's S's, P's, K's.
Just hearing people sniff.
When somebody's crunching on ice.
For those of you who chew your gum and smack it and pop it and make Stop it.
A student barely able to get through her college class.
My thoughts really kind of scare me when I have my triggers. I feel very violent. The range is almost unbearable.
Many living in isolation, wondering what is wrong with them.
I hate that I do it. It's just sad to me.
For most people with misophonia, the worst triggers come from the people closest to them. That's the case for Taylor.
Can you give me a list now of all the things that your mom can't do around you?
Eat, chew, breathe heavily.
What's the quietest sound your mom makes that still sets you off?
Just a quiet breath, like...
Taylor hates the sound of her father's sniffles, but she can tolerate his voice.
Here.
That's led to a confusing array of diagnoses for Taylor in the family's quest for answers.
We went to so many different doctors, and they told her she was just being a brat, or they said she's just trying to control you.
In fact, the condition has received so little research, most doctors have never even heard of it.
We're pretty sure there's a genetic link. I suspect it's some sort of neurological glitch in a very low level of the brain.
You've described it as fight or flight.
Yep. In the same way that you might react if a yellow jacket stung you. You have to get that away from you right now. It's very intense.
To drown out noise, Taylor constantly wears headphones, even in her sleep. Her condition has become so desperate that she has attempted suicide 3 times.
90% of my life is probably in my bedroom.
With the door closed?
Door closed.
The only remnant of a normal teenage life is her obsession with the boy band One Direction. Their music is the only sound that makes her smile. Taylor can't attend her regular high school. Instead, she goes to an alternative school with limited hours. Unable to speak to her own mother, she can't ride in the same car with her. The two communicate with a form of charades.
3 squeezes, I love you, and we know what it means. I love you, too.
And by passing notes.
Saturday.
Watch carefully as Taylor's face changes. Her mother has swallowed. Their conversation is over.
Yes. Bye.
Even separated by a door, Taylor is still bothered by her mother's voice.
Mom, you're giving me anxiety.
If Bernadette does trigger her daughter, the results can be catastrophic.
She's hit my head against the wall. She's kicked me. She's pushed me. Just whatever she can to stop the sound from coming from me.
You must be afraid of your own daughter.
I've been fearful of my life, yes.
Fearful of your life?
Yeah.
And once the rage is past, she's immediately sorry for what she's done.
She feels so guilty.
Oh, yeah.
She's the sweetest girl that you'll ever meet. The kindest. And the saddest part is her crying out to me saying, Mommy, what's happening to me? What is this?
One positive step, recently Taylor was able to return to the dance class that she loves. The loud music muffles the sounds that could upset her.
Come on, Taylor, yes. Good, you got it.
If you didn't have this condition, what would you want your life to be like?
I'd like to be able to go to school, participate in all my sports that I used to love, and go out to dinner with my family.
Coming up, the violence of a trigger caught on tape. Plus, meet the most famous person with misophonia.
What happens if I were to start chewing gum here right now? Would you just be...
Oh my gosh. If my husband eats a peach, I have to leave the room.
See what's next.
2020 Medical Mysteries continues. Once again, Elizabeth Vargas.
It's Live with Kelly.
On Live with Kelly, she is famous for her cheerful and carefree good humor.
Kelly Ripa nominated for Best Host.
Oh
my God!
But Kelly Ripa has a rare and mostly unknown condition that is no laughing matter.
I just discovered this disease that I have. The sounds of swallowing and chewing make me insane. And
so you have a serious problem.
I think I do. It's got a name, though. It's got a name. It's called misophonia.
That sounds
That's what
like
it
a
says.
joke name.
A funny name, but misophonia is now getting some serious attention after a New York Times article last year.
And I read the article, and I read it over and over again, and I said, I think I have this. As early as I can remember, certain sounds of eating would bother me.
So what did your parents think of this 9-year-old at the table saying,
I'm
"Excuse me,
sure
you're chewing too loudly"?
No, I'm sure they thought I was a monster.
Ripa's case is milder than most, but she says quiet dinners with her husband and 3 children can be a recipe for disaster.
One of them is chomping or slurping or gulping. I tend to be almost distracted by what's being said by the sound. If you could stop eating the marshmallows for a minute, it could be as simple as just swallowing, the sound of swallowing.
We all feel annoyance,
Right.
but this is something different.
Well, I think that my gut reaction is to yell, but I control that. If my husband eats a peach, I have to leave the room.
You have to leave the room.
I have to leave the room.
What happens if I were to start chewing gum here right now? Would you just be...
Oh my gosh. The sounds of people chewing gum can really enrage me.
What about cooking segments on live?
We have the meat after it's been sliced.
Cooking segments on live can get a little dicey, but usually I'm so distracted by the sounds of applause or, I'm focusing on other things. And usually the bites that you all take them together. Those tasting bites happen all at the same time. I feel like I turn into the Hulk sometimes.
Okay.
That's how 27-year-old Josh Furness feels, but tenfold. He made this YouTube video, starring himself, to show what it feels like to hear a trigger sound, like chewing. He calls this an understatement.
This is how I feel inside. This video is me acting out what I would have loved to do every time I'm triggered.
Josh has struggled with misophonia since he was 8 years old, and his father's voice became unbearable. The list of triggers expanded over time.
Keyboard typing, raspy voices.
Some people are very unhappy.
Bruce Willis movies. I can't stand his voice for some reason.
Let me ask you a question, Bonehead.
Very similar to my dad's. Sandals walking, people walking in sandals. I live my life very defensively, and I need to constantly remove myself from situations and noises that could potentially become triggers.
That's become unimaginably difficult because now his biggest trigger is his best friend and business partner, Danny.
We're the founders of Selfless Tea.
Even though they co-founded and co-run their company, Selfless Tea, Josh and Danny cannot sit in nearby offices. In fact, Danny sits upstairs from Josh and down a hall.
I'm his closest confidant and biggest enemy.
Their conversations, limited to just 3 hours a week, are carefully choreographed. No small talk, no eating or drinking. Danny is intensely aware of avoiding the triggers that could send Josh into a fit of rage.
The moment a trigger comes, it's like shh.
But at Josh's request to show the world what misophonia feels like, Danny is triggering him intentionally. His instruments of torture: a pen, a coffee cup, trail mix, and a granola bar. For Josh, holding a simple conversation under these conditions is excruciating. After just a few minutes, he is forced to run from the room.
That was too much.
Even more devastating for Josh is dating with misophonia. Having a long-term girlfriend has been almost impossible.
Unfortunately, the scenario can be that everything about this person is wonderful, but guess what? She chews a little awkwardly, or maybe her voice gets raspy at night a little bit. These are things that are this really awkward deal breaker for me.
He just says, I just can't stand the way she eats in front of me. She's gorgeous, but she chews like a horse. And that to me is like, it's sad, right?
Anytime that I start to have a real emotional connection with somebody, really caring for them, is when things that they do become worse for me.
Josh hopes to get married and have a family one day. His best hope for that is a cure. But with limited funding for research, there is none, just treatments that help people cope.
If I gave up hope on a relationship, it would be a terrible thing.
Josh is determined to unmute his life.
I feel like I have glimpses of hope with people working together, trying to find a solution. I am optimistic that things will be better for me and for everyone in the long run.
We have a list online of what to check for if you think you might have misophonia. Go to our website at abcnews.com/2020. We'll be right back.
Next, mysterious constant cravings. Her diet is a little bit rocky.
You're surrounded by all this food, granola bars, cereal bars, Pop-Tarts, and you'd rather have the rocks?
I don't see anything on this side that looks better.
And wait till you hear what this 3-year-old eats.
I eat a light bulb.
We've probably all had strange cravings for food, but nothing like what you're about to see. Toilet paper, window blinds, light bulbs, even rocks. You could call them the 4 basic food groups of this medical mystery, but does it start in the mouth or the mind? Here's John Berman.
I'll get one of these. I don't eat healthy, but I do love spinach and artichoke dip. I like that with chips.
For Teresa Widener, hitting the supermarket can be unsatisfying.
I'm getting a few groceries from my refrigerator.
Sure, she finds soda, pizza, chips.
I like a lot of snack food.
But her favorite snack? They don't sell it here. Yes, inside that pill bottle, rocks. Teresa eats rocks. Actual rocks.
Yeah.
You're surrounded by all this food, granola bars, cereal bars, Pop-Tarts, and you'd rather have the rocks?
I don't see anything on this side that looks better. And this is a rather large one.
This is where she prefers to browse.
This right here is really big. Just gonna look in the grass and make sure I didn't overlook any rocks.
The side of the road near her home in Bedford, Virginia.
And this, I'm not sure about this.
This is like where you come to shop.
Yeah, if I want some rocks, that's where I should do the rock shopping at.
Teresa believes she needs them. It's her comfort food.
When you look at these in your hand right here, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking when I need these, they'll be there for me when I'm upset or whatever.
This mother of 2 who works with special needs children says she's been eating rocks for more than 20 years.
I like that it has an earthy flavor.
It's the flavor you like?
Yeah, it's a flavor, and I do like the texture too. I like the thin pieces the best.
And you can break that up in your mouth?
Pretty easy.
What's that do to your teeth?
It doesn't hurt them.
It turns out rocks are not the only strange thing you'll see people eat.
No one would think that I was gonna eat my bras.
On TLC's My Strange Addiction, people eat everything from bras to household cleaners. This woman's gone through 7 sofas in 21 years. And Keisha likes toilet paper, addicted to 2-ply since 7th grade.
I could probably take down half the roll in one day.
There is a medical term for this condition, pica. It's the Latin word for magpie, a bird that will eat anything.
This is a behavioral and/or a mental health problem, and there's a lot of debate because it's not really widely known where this comes from. And some people see it as a mental disorder, some people see it as a behavioral problem.
Teresa says she's anemic, and the rocks help treat her iron deficiency. But she also says they're an emotional crutch.
If I know that I have some at my house, I feel better just knowing they're there.
Of course, pica comes with serious risks. Those rocks that go into Teresa's mouth have to end up somewhere.
You run the risk of perforating your stomach, your bowels, your intestinal tract.
I have some stomach problems at times.
How about your throat?
Sometimes I have been choked. I get them stuck.
Those are a lot of medical issues, not a few.
And I feel healthy in general, though. I feel healthy.
You just put it in and eat it?
Just put it in and chomp it.
This isn't gonna hurt me?
No, that will not hurt you.
It doesn't really chomp, and I don't want to bite too hard.
Your teeth must not be strong enough.
Excuse me. It isn't for everyone.
No.
For grown-ups, pica can be confusing, startling, mystifying. But for kids, it's something else entirely. Terrifying.
She had blood in her mouth, and of course I panicked and grabbed her up and took her right to the hospital that night.
Colleen Hayhurst is talking about her 3-year-old daughter, Natalie. Adorable, energetic, effervescent Natalie.
When your eyes are not on her, what's going through your mind?
What is she doing? What is she eating?
The list is long.
She's on like this actually was a rubber ball, a little bouncy ball. This was my son's schoolwork. He'd left a pencil down, and this is what was left of it. This we kept because this was the brick that she'd actually taken. That was one of the things that she had eaten. This was actually the blind that she had taken the bread out of that made me take her to the doctor.
And that's her mouth. Those are the teeth marks.
Those are her teeth marks, yeah.
As babies, kids love putting things into their mouths, but generally they grow out of it by about 18 months. Many, like Natalie, do not, and it can be downright dangerous. So dangerous, Colleen keeps poison control on speed dial.
The worst case was when she ate the light bulb when she was about 2 years old.
I ate a light bulb
You ate a light bulb.
with a little baby.
When Colleen saw the blood in her mouth, she rushed Natalie to the hospital.
I was scared. I was terrified.
Natalie still talks about the surgery to remove the shards of glass.
And then cut my belly open and got the light bulb out and put it back, put my belly together.
They put your belly back together again.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
In kids, pica can be connected to developmental issues, even autism. Colleen has Natalie on a list to be tested. The good news is most often, children with pica outgrow it by the time they reach 2nd grade. In the meantime, they try to keep her taste buds occupied. There's lemon juice. Natalie drinks it straight.
They say that her taste buds are a little different and that certain things are better for her, help stimulate her body. You want more?
And then there's other diversions.
What do you call this box?
Pica box.
Inside, chew toys.
What you chew on?
You chew on it. Like that, huh?
Still, it's a constant struggle.
Please put that down. Don't pick stuff like that up. It's not good for you. But it's not good, honey. You don't know if that's poisonous. You don't want to get sick.
More than anything, Colleen wants people to be aware of this problem.
Natalie. No. Put that down. Don't be picking stuff up. That's not good for you.
To look for signs in their own kids,
Go play on the play
so
set,
that
okay?
Natalie and other pica children can grow up safely.
Little
Plays
kid does.
hard.
Yeah, she's definitely not afraid of anything.
Do you think she's afraid of pica?
No, I don't. I don't think she has a fear at all. I think if she was, she wouldn't put some of the things in her mouth. But that's what I'm here for. I'm here to be scared for her.
Next, a normal American teenager dealing with maybe the strangest tick bite of all. One that's caused her to talk in what sounds like a foreign accent.
It is very difficult to find a teenage guy nowadays.
It sounds like Eastern Romania or Russian.
Is it her body playing tricks on her? Or is her mind playing tricks?
Other people are looking at it and saying, you're fake, you're fake.
It's already here, tick season. It started early and it is predicted to be fierce. An estimated 30,000 cases of resulting Lyme disease took root in 2010, but maybe none has ever been as complex and confusing as the one that hit the girl who had everything going for her. But with the disease, she got something else, a foreign accent. Here's Jay Shadler.
Prom night jitters, a common affliction among teen girls this time of the year.
All ready for prom.
Hair just right, dress just so. But for 16-year-old Elena, her Cinderella evening can quickly turn into a grim tale. It's happened before.
Yeah.
Full body spasms.
You gotta relax. Okay. All right. Okay. I know it's...
Elena's been diagnosed with an extreme form of Lyme disease, a nasty and puzzling bacterial infection delivered by the bite of a tick no larger than a poppy seed. In addition to the more typical symptoms like fatigue and joint pain, Elena endures the inability to talk.
What are we about to do?
Or walk. Sensitivity to light.
Your eyes hurt?
Mine's all killing me back and behind them.
But most curiously,
Lyme disease and this co-infections are special little suckers.
days when she wakes up as if in a spell, speaking in what sounds like a Russian accent.
I don't really feel good today. I have a bad headache, and yesterday I was fine and dandy.
Keep in mind, this is what Elena sounds like on a normal day.
I wanted pictures everywhere. I want to go outside. Horses, because horses, they matter to me. They're my life, really. I knew that I wanted butterflies because butterflies are a really great symbol of hope for a lot of people.
So we had no idea what or who to expect when she showed up for her interview.
That's a love light.
Today, the accent was back.
Why do you think you're having this accent right now?
Well, I woke up this morning and usually after I sleep and I rest, it's gone. And I was still stressed this morning when I woke up, anxious to, be going and meeting new people and have all the bright lights and stuff.
Well, where does this particular accent come from? It sounds like Eastern Romania or Russian.
I have no idea because I've never heard any of those accents. I spoke to a speech therapist and she said it's not an accent, it is a speech problem.
Doctors believe Elena's most extreme symptoms may be triggered by co-infections, Lyme mixed with another bacteria. Ticks, you see, lurking in our fields or backyards can carry the equivalent of multiple warheads. One bite, many different infections, including a cruel little parasite called Bartonella, which can cause bizarre neurological problems, including perhaps Elena's speech affectation.
Do you remember where you were and when it was the first symptom struck you?
Well, I remember I woke up on, I believe it was a Tuesday morning, and it was a headache, like really bad. The light was too bright and the sound was too loud and it was a terrible headache. And I went into my mom's room and I said, Mom, I can't go to school today.
Hello, today is Wednesday, August.
Because of the mercurial nature of the disease, getting a diagnosis is complicated and frustrating. Just ask Elena's mom.
When we went to the ER in Manchester and the doctor said, do you have headaches? And I said, yeah, I have an occasional migraine. And he says, well, I think she's just mimicking your migraine symptoms. And I was just devastated.
From the onset of her symptoms, it would take a full year to find a doctor who would test Elena for Lyme.
How long have you been treating her?
Since 2008.
But you know what? My head hurts too.
Does any part of you say, this has got to be a teenager seeking attention?
None.
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 You're completely convinced?
Absolutely.
This is what happens when I get tired.
Dr. Duran immediately began her on a potent cocktail of antibiotics. The treatment is controversial, with most doctors still insisting anything more than a short-term dose of antibiotics is unwarranted. So from diagnosis to treatment, a Lyme patient's most devilish foe may be skepticism.
People who watch this are going to make their own judgments.
Oh yes, I'm sure of
as
that.
to whether or not you're telling the truth or what symptoms are real and what are not. And other people are looking at it and saying, you're faking.
I had the best life you can have in 7th grade. I was on a pedestal. There is no greater frustration to be taken off that pedestal by an illness.
But you're a very imaginative girl, I can tell.
Yeah.
You're a live wire. Maybe...
Quick on my feet.
Yeah. Is it possible at all, do you think, that you could be faking yourself?
I don't think so. I will say that straight up. I have spent many, many days wanting nothing more than to be healthy. perfectly healthy. I absolutely hate not being able to hang out with friends like a regular teenager.
Oh, it's so good.
You've got a boyfriend.
Yes, yeah. Oh my goodness. It is very difficult to find a teenage guy nowadays who can actually love you for your inside, for how you are when you're not sick.
Lately, there have been encouraging signs that her extensive treatment may be working.
Ooh, itchy nose.
Certainly her doctor thinks so.
What would you say her prognosis is?
I still are very optimistic that we'll get her back to, if not 100%, pretty darn close to it.
What do you expect your life to be now?
My main hope is that it will go into remission.
You want to have a future.
I want to have a future. I want to be a regular American.
At this year's prom, Elena's dress never turned to rags, nor her coach to a pumpkin. Cinderella had a dance with a prince, and everything was well, at least for a little while.
The song Just a Kiss came on the loudspeakers. The pain got bored and took a vacation, or I just ignored it. I was living for a few minutes more than I had in years.
Just a kiss on your lips in the moonlight. Coming up next, young, gorgeous, and her hair falling out in clumps due to a mysterious affliction.
Today I don't feel very pretty.
Was there anything she wouldn't try?
It looks like she's literally hammering your head with nails. She has beauty, brains, and she's got a mysterious disease that robbed her of the very way she'd always dreamed of hitting it big. Here's my visit with the hair model who lost her livelihood but found everything. Everywhere you look, we are a culture obsessed with hair. And nowhere is it more important, it seems, than Hollywood, where good hair is a must. So for an aspiring actress like Georgia Van Collenberg, her success has a particularly challenging hurdle. She is bald.
If I wasn't in the industry, I wouldn't have to care so much. I think it's very ironic because I used to always say, you know, the hair is one thing I like. And now it's like, really? That was smart. Take it away, and now I have to look at the rest of me.
Now this wig, I mean, this is my natural color. That's
Like 5 million others in this country, Georgia suffers from alopecia, an autoimmune disease that causes sudden and often unpredictable hair loss.
Are those eyebrows your eyebrows?
they're not.
And eyelashes?
I have 3 of my eyelashes.
And so do you have body hair?
I have a little bit of body hair.
Growing up in her native Australia, Georgia was always insecure about the way she looked, but the one thing she loved about herself was her beautiful hair. In fact, she became a hair model.
And had this thick, like, amazing hair that was literally like I had natural blonde highlights, the kind of ones that women pay lots of money for.
At 18, Georgia moved to Los Angeles to pursue her dream of becoming an actress. Soon she was appearing in advertisements. She got a part on a kids show and was doing voiceovers for a major video game.
Warm and green and very naturey.
But one morning, the former hair model would wake up to her worst nightmare. She would lose her most prized asset.
You said it started one morning in the shower.
In the shower, if I put my hand through it, it would just, instead of like rubbing, it would just rub out. The hair would just come out of my hands.
Handfuls?
Handfuls of hair.
Devastated, Georgia struggled to come to grips with the horror of losing her hair. But through it all, she and her then boyfriend began filming her most vulnerable moments.
Today I don't feel very pretty.
It would later become a documentary.
What can I do? I don't have hair.
People all said, don't tell anyone. It will ruin your career. People will judge you. They will see you as sick. They won't hire you. You'll never work again.
Feeling shame and embarrassment, Georgia kept her alopecia a secret, wearing a wig even to auditions. And she would go to agonizing lengths to get her hair back, first trying acupuncture.
The acupuncture was definitely the most painful.
Sorry, honey.
It's okay.
It's unbelievable what you endured. It looks like she's literally hammering your head with nails.
It's a hammer with 7 needles on it, and they just bang it across the scalp. It was just this thing of like, this is so much pain. Is it worth it?
Georgia would choose to endure another excruciating treatment, smearing an ointment on her head every night that burned her scalp in hopes of creating new hair growth.
I didn't sleep so well last night. My head was burning so much on my back. So sore.
At one point you show the back of your head and it's raw.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it's been boiled. It's difficult to watch.
It was never, look how brave I am. It was more about, I want people to get how much we try to do something and how much we'll go through.
To have hair.
Yeah, to have hair. Burning. I was just like, this is ridiculous.
Oh.
It's not worth going through this pain anymore. I need to be honest and be real.
Slowly, it began to crystallize for Georgia that her desperate efforts weren't working.
You made a decision at some point after you'd lost a vast majority of your hair to just shave your head.
Yes.
Was that hard to do? It looked like it was.
It was a huge moment.
It's an egg.
That very first moment that you saw yourself bald in the mirror, what did you think?
Oh my God, I have no hair. It was freedom.
But just as Georgia began to accept her hair loss, her hair began to reappear, giving her new hope.
But it's coming back. It's coming back and it's gonna keep coming back. Keep growing. Do it. My hair has come back.
Georgia would return to the very salon where she was once a hair model, her picture still up on the wall.
They said that they'll give me a proper haircut to make it look all groovy.
But her new haircut would conjure up unexpected emotions.
I got my haircut today. I got my haircut for the first time in 2.5 years. Oh my God, I don't have long hair anymore. I don't feel beautiful. I don't feel sexy. I don't feel like anyone's gonna look at me or notice me or anything. And if they're
Why was that so emotional for you?
I have hair again, but it doesn't look like me. It was a real shock of, I don't feel beautiful right now, and I thought when I got better I would.
Like, it's just had that thing again of being in the shower this morning and seeing little clumps in my hand.
Georgia didn't have long to dwell on the length of her hair. The scourge of her disease would strike again.
I hate that. It goes in your mouth.
Again, she would have to figure out how to cope. But this time, her emotions wouldn't be dictated by the random cycles of a disease. This time, she would take control.
Pretty soon, I got the bug. I was almost having trouble keeping my wig on.
So it's just
You are a very beautiful person.
This is it. This is the real me. My only option was to start focusing on the things that make me the happiest. I started meeting kids.
This beautiful blonde hair is mine.
Kids who needed a little help to see the bright side, and sharing my story with them, and magically, as I was helping them, they returned the favor tenfold.
For Georgia, it had been a long and arduous journey. But now, instead of viewing her disease as a burden, she would start to see it as an amazing gift.
This is my role, and what my truth can actually do to help others is way more important than feeling sorry for myself.
That's our program for tonight. I'm Elizabeth Vargas. For all of us at 2020 and ABC News, good night and have a great weekend.